Hello everyone, welcome to the Michael Sanders Go-See show with me, Michael Sanders, and my beautiful go-see of the day,
Zanna Van Vorstenbosch.
Wicked, what a name. We are very lucky to have Zanna here with her guitar to play us a intro tune of her choice, of her choosing.
Yes.
I'm really excited. So take it away, Zanna. Oh, do you want to tell us, do you want to give us a little intro as to what this is?
But I wasn't quite sure what I was going to play for you today, but I think I'm going to play one of my own songs.
Wow, an original composition.
Yeah, usually it's with two guitars.
Okay, that you play yourself?
Yes, yeah, two at the same time actually. I have a great setup.
Great.
All right.
And so what's this called?
It's called Tales.
Wicked.
I thought it was nice in the children's bedroom. I mean, you guys can't see this, but
We've
got some really cute stuff around it.
So these are children's tales that you're going to be telling today?
Definitely no children's tale.
Okay.
It's called Tales.
Inappropriate. Go for it.
Count your prey, play your game. So much to prove, little to gain. Wear their names, a time to play. So much to prove, little to gain, and you want to find some meaning to life, but you're too proud to say, you know you're blind. Blow out circles and mark my words. You've been taught tales for so long.
Wow. Zanna, that was freaking awesome.
Thank you.
I really love that. I'm going to turn up the levels now for our voices.
Okay,
'Cause
do it.
Where did you get your obvious talent to perform and to make those kinds of sounds?
So, I mean, I've been doing this I was doing this before I could talk, basically.
You were a child
Yeah.
musician.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was always doing music, and my parents never knew really where it came from. But apparently, my grandma is a really good singer, but she's always been very shy, so no one really heard. But there were rumors going around that she was a really good singer. So
Was there music played in the family home?
I mean, I play music in my family's home, but nobody else really really did anything.
So where did that come from? It wasn't as if it was around you
just
from an
there.
early age?
Yeah,
You were born with it?
Yeah, so a friend of the family gave me, when I was 2-3 years old, gave me this shitty, oh, sorry, can I say shitty?
Yes, you can. You
Yes.
may. I'm a swearer too.
Perfect.
I'm English. It comes with the nationality.
So they gave me this, shitty piano, kid play toy
Yeah.
thing. And I would hear songs on the radios, and I could just, as a 3-year-old, I could just, by listening, I could play it on the little piano. No one has ever taught me.
Wow.
And always singing, and when I was learning words, I would sing them. So if somebody would tell me a word, I would repeat it in
Jesus.
singing, and I'd be like, "Give me the peanut butter, mother."
No.
Yeah.
So you were just born to do this?
I don't know. I guess
Are your
I
mother
guess
and
I
father
am.
particularly musical?
No, not at all.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's go back from the beginning.
Yeah.
You were born in this town with a strange name.
Yes. I wasn't. I just have the name that says that I am, but I'm not. I was born in Amsterdam, born and raised.
Is that an amazing city to grow up in?
Absolutely. It's the best city to grow up in.
What did your parents do?
Yeah. My mom works in a hospital. She gives trainings and she coaches people when it comes to communication and communicating with each other, and she helps them out. It's like kind of like an office therapist.
Is she a communicator herself? Is she a good communicator?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
And what does your dad do?
And my dad works with people that have a really hard time taking care of themselves. So they're like people with disabilities, physical and mental, problems, and he helps them in all kinds of different ways. Like he cooks for them, he takes them to appointments, he arranges things in their life good so that they're healthy and that they can kind of reintegrate into, society.
So your dad is a giver?
They're both very giving, yes. Very giving parents.
So you benefit from all that love?
Absolutely.
Was bringing home those tales and stress of hardships and all the rest of it, did that affect family life? Would they bring that necessarily home with them?
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to, my parents are both very emotional people, so I don't think that it was necessarily the stress that they would gain at work, although of course sometimes you take that home like anyone else does. But they've always been very emotional and very expressive in that. So I mean, but I'm a very emotional person too, and I very much feel the need to like
express yourself,
be open about it and communicate about it and stuff. So it worked out fine. It wasn't like a problem.
So what's your star sign?
Okay, let's get down to the real business.
Yes.
I am a very proud Leo.
So am I. How could I could sort of tell that Leo energy.
Yeah.
So you're happy in the spotlight.
I'm
you like
obviously.
You like attention.
Yeah. I mean, yes, yeah. I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily, when it comes to music and like performing for people, that it's necessarily the attention, but I love to see people seeking out connection and like connecting to things, and that makes me just really happy to be able to like have that interaction.
And did you say siblings?
Yes, I have a little brother called Boaz. We both have very cool names, Boaz and Zanna.
Wicked. Where did they come from? You don't know, they're just like the sound.
They're just yeah. Well, we have a common name, Sanna, in Holland, and my dad was like, let's spice this up a bit. Put a Z in front of it. Yeah. And then Boaz is like a biblical name, and also I think it's a Jewish name as well.
Are you different, you guys? So it's an older sister, younger brother?
Yeah.
And it's not just along the sex lines?
Yes. I'm a very emotional, expressive person, and I think because the rest of the family always was very expressive, and my brother was the youngest, and also a boy.
Overwhelmed?
He always like pulled back a bit. He was always kind of just like.
What's his star sign?
He is a Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's also very like stubborn and like does his own thing. Yeah.
So you're happy with who you are? Obviously.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, we all struggle at times. There's always things that we don't like, or that in our eyes get magnified, and that we feel are really heavy and really difficult. But, just in the overall view of like where I am and who I am to people and my connection and my friends and everything, I'm so happy to be who I am. Yeah.
Were you always thus? You were a happy child?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't a happy child?
I was not at all.
So
I was a very dramatic child. Very dramatic.
What was the source, do you think, of that tension or drama or?
I mean, I think it's for the same reason why I started making music. I think I was just very, very sensitive, and I just wasn't ready really to just. Look around me. I just wanted to stay inside my own bubble, and I couldn't because of anyway, just the environment that I grew up in. They were very like, you have to be there and present and expressing and So.
Were you good at school?
In the beginning I was not, because but then I started taking medicine for my ADD, and then I started.
You had ADD.
Yeah, or I still have it actually. Yeah.
That was a formal diagnosis? Is that not? Forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
Is that not dietary? Are there dietary implications?
For some people, that can help a lot. I think a lot of people find different ways of dealing with it. For me, my mom was always very motivated to help me find a way to get through school and life in general. And we tried so many different things, and it all worked a bit, but the medicine just really made me able to show what I had inside of me, I guess.
So what are the classic symptoms of ADHD? Is that what it is?
You have ADHD and you have ADD.
Okay.
It's just a
Hyperactivity?
attention deficit disorder. So
Right.
and the frontal lobe of your brain doesn't really work very well, and that's about just processing senses.
Okay.
So that would either be too much, or I wouldn't be able to really process it all. And that can come out in different ways, I guess.
I see.
For me, it was that it was too much a lot of the time. Yeah.
So was that the source of your unease, do you think? It didn't help, did it?
Yeah, and also because I was a very observant child, and I think I just didn't agree with a lot of things that were going on around me, and also because I kind of lacked some sort of, being able to
Filter?
to let people to enjoy being around other people, I think, and that can really get you out of that bubble of like watching everything happen and like not agreeing with it. Like I think being around people that make you happy and stuff kind of just make you be like, oh, like we've got each other, and I didn't really have that, so I think that's. Yeah, I think the fact that I was just like really observant and in my own bubble, that made me kind of
feel isolated.
Sad. Yeah.
And what age do you think you were when you started to actually come into your own properly, and feel that the weight lifting a bit?
Yeah, I think when I was I had periods where it went really well. I think when I was 16, I was doing pretty well, and then when I was I think. From the age, I feel when I turned 21, I really made a switch.
What was that due to? Do you know?
I think there's just something about the age of 21 that's just like, and
you came of age kind of thing.
And I also think moving to New York City did, and finding the friends that I have now and settling for the first time. I feel like I'm settling somewhere and calling something home, and that's my home, and that.
Did you take music lessons throughout your childhood then? Did you take guitar lessons specifically, or piano, or any of the traditional
when I was
stuff?
Yeah, when I was 8, I took piano lessons, and then we started focusing on songwriting pretty quickly. And I did that for I think like 2 years, and then I had a few vocal lessons to learn how to use the muscles, so I wouldn't hurt myself in the future by singing wrongly.
That's cool. So you've got good technique.
Yeah, I think so. I think I have a pretty good technique. I'm very conscious of what I do.
Yes. Was it ever a professional ambition to be a singer or performer?
No, because I was always doing it, and it was always just a way of just like kind of doing my own thing. But like people were immediately always just like, you are going to become this, you are going to do this, you're going to go to the conservatory, and you're going to like write all these songs. So then immediately, of course you're like gonna rebel against that, and you're just like, fuck no, this is my thing, shut up. Like, so, and then... Are
you still in that fuck no phase?
Absolutely not. I'm like, no, I
You'll
think
bring it on phase?
Yeah, I did a lot of different things, and I was very excited about school, and I wanted to study and go to university and stuff, but I just really found that this is just something that is just so connected with who I am, and is how I can connect to other people in the deepest way and most meaningful way. And
so you should use that gift.
Yeah, I just really want to do that forever.
So how were you with the boys and your popularity? Or girls, or whatever. I always say boys, and I'm going to correct myself in the future.
Yes, good, thank you.
In this day and age.
Yes.
So old-fashioned.
I don't know. I was always very bossy.
Or love. Let's call it love. Your love life.
My love life.
Was that easy for you?
All right, let's talk about the love life, guys.
Let's get to the nuts and bolts.
I think, I've always had like an obsession with like love and like I've always been a very like horny kid and stuff.
So it's been your main focus?
No, it's definitely not been my main focus, but it's something that was always just like, it wasn't a focus, it was more like something that I got excitement out of, and that I saw like, it was like mystical and like, it was just like really interesting because it didn't really have anything to do with facts or things. Like it was this journey, and like I don't know, I just thought it was just like really interesting.
But were you always attracted to people?
Yes, I was always attracted to people.
Is that still part of who you are? Do you appreciate aesthetics and beauty and details and personality and all the rest of it? What makes a human being a human being? You're attracted to that.
I'm attracted I'm attracted to the idea of like really discovering who someone is and like what their little quirks are and what their values are, and I love to hear like why people love certain things, and I love it when people love things and hear about it and talk about it. And
definitely.
I don't think it's necessary. I'm not a person that really enjoys like aesthetics as something as much, I think, which is weird because I'm in the fashion industry and that's all about aesthetics. But I mean, I enjoy it, of course. But.
Yes, but you don't live through your eyes necessarily.
No,
it's something deeper. It's something a bit more mysterious than that.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a real Dutch girl, or whatever that means?
No, I feel I'm not as grounded as most Dutch people.
Yes.
I'm pretty grounded. And I have a lot of, like, I grew up with the values and the, like, I definitely, like, being in America is definitely a huge clash in a lot of ways as a Dutch person. But I clash in Holland as well. So I don't think that I'm necessarily a real, like, Dutch girl.
Did you come here specifically for your career?
Yeah.
Tell me about, let's talk to the audience out there about how you, Zanna, became a model and what that journey was and how did it start. You were a pretty child. You're so cute. You were a cute Dutch girl.
I was really tall and really skinny and awkward. And
did you feel beautiful?
Absolutely not. And I don't think that anyone agreed with the fact that I was beautiful.
So you don't think you were alone? You think the majority of people who would have seen the young childhood Zanna would have said that there goes not a beautiful girl?
Especially in the age where I got scouted, which was like 14, 13.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Isn't that a contradiction in terms? At your, what you would consider least attractive was when you got professionally scouted by someone whose job it is to spot something beautiful.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yes, I maybe, but then they really see beauty as something else. I think they just have another view of beauty too, and I think I always like thought that they would just saw like, oh, there's a tall, skinny, like blonde, funny looking, interesting person walking down the street,
right. And there was all that too, I'm sure. Yeah. So tell me, how did it happen? Go on, tell the story.
I just got chased down the street, and then.
How old were you?
I was 13. I wasn't really tall enough. I kind of like, like sent pictures and everything, but didn't really work out. It didn't really feel good either. And then I kept like getting scouted. And then at one point we found my agent that I'm still with in Holland. And she was just amazing. She was very like cut through. She's like, okay, let's have coffee. And she talked to my parents and stuff and immediately like set things up. And like, so suddenly it just became a thing and we just went along with it.
And was it something that you thought was just happening to you? Was it something you...
Yeah.
So you didn't necessarily feel completely engaged with it. It wasn't something you thought of doing, had fancies about, and that it was suddenly manifesting. It was literally out of the blue, left field.
Yeah, and it was just a very intimidating thing that seemed like a very like unhappy life. Even I was just like,
really, you had negative. You had
yes,
projected
I had
negative
associations with it. Yes, but then I went to this photo shoot that the agent set up. First, we met the agent. That was an amazing person. I love her, and immediately felt that connection. So that made me like, oh, curious. Like, oh, this doesn't feel bad.
Yes, right.
And then I went to a photo shoot and saw this other girl, and she like showed me pictures of herself. She was like in Morocco, and she was like my age, and she like traveled to Morocco and like stayed in these hotels. And I was like, wait, what? This is cool. Like I want to ride those camels and sit in this Gucci dress with wind in my hair. That looks dope.
Totally.
Yeah. So then I was just like, okay, this means something else. Like I can actually do some really interesting stuff. So
did you dive in wholeheartedly and learn and teach yourself the business? Or
No,
not? Like
I wasn't
you're easier going
conscious
than that.
about it. I wasn't
Okay.
conscious about it. It literally, I would get shoots, I would show up, I would just be my weird self, like crack jokes all day, and people just really liked that. And also, I think also that's why I was able to do it so, like, in the way that I do, like, pretty well. Like, I make, I can pay my rent with it because I'm not so engaged with it. I'm
It's
very
not so precious.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's never been like the main focus of my life. I do it and I love it, and I love meeting new people every day and yeah, and being here.
It suits you.
Yes, it does.
So at what point did you think, I'm good at this, I can do this?
Actually, from the very first time, I mean, no, that's not true. The very first time was really awkward, obviously, because it was this photographer that was always so like, no, like, give more, look deeper into the camera. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Look deeper into the camera? It's black. Like, what do you, like, I can't, what?
Right, it's a black lens.
It's a black lens, like, how do I, and so I didn't really understand, but then I got another photographer, and he was just kind of just like, oh, just like walk around, and then I could just like, just turn inside out and just like be like, oh, and then I would like make weird shapes and I could just dance around.
Right.
And people like appreciated that. And in Holland it was always like, stop being weird, sit down, stop talking so loud. And every time we would talk loud or be weird, everybody was like, yes, give it to me, give it to me. And I'd just be like, yay. I was like, that was really, so
Did you just spell?
I feel sorry. Got very enthusiastic
okay.
about that.
I'm enthusiastic too. So it was very clear early on that your personality, your extrovert personality, suited the job. So when did you think I can actually make a living out of this and get paid properly? And this is a job.
Not until very late. It was always just kind of, I was busy doing school, and then here and there a job would pop up and it'd be very exciting, and I'd go, and then I think in the last year of high school, more and more stuff comes, and it started being actually really complicated to make the choice, like, okay, am I going to do this? Or am I going to stay for this really important test that's pretty, like, heavy? And then my teacher said, like, maybe you should quit school. My mentor was like, maybe you should quit school.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I quit school, and then I just...
How did you take that? Did you take that in the positive way?
Yeah, because I did. I wasn't doing very well either, so I think I just like really wanted that break too of school. So
yes.
I think I was really happy that somebody said, like,
It's
go. Okay.
Yeah.
You can always come back, you know.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was almost turning 18.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it was perfect.
And you went full bore into fashion then?
No, because I think it stressed me out at the same time, and then I gained a little weight, and then it kind of like didn't really work, but I traveled a lot, and I saw it was a lot of good experience. It wasn't necessarily like a big modeling career. It was more of like, I can travel, I'm going to do all this stuff, meet all these people, and then I wasn't really focused on it, so that's why it didn't really work. I wasn't very like, I didn't see modeling as like a very serious career yet. And then I went back to high school, lost a bunch of weight, and then...
How did you do that? Why the weight gain and loss? Is there something that's related to? Did you relate it to stress?
No, I think it was a part of it was... I mean, this is all kind of like... This is a fucked up story that you don't really want to just tell, but it's like
Is it useful for somebody else who might be going through the same
I don't
thing?
think it's very useful for anyone else, except for the fact that you know that it's like a journey, and it's not just like it's a big struggle too, and that you go through up and downs, and suddenly doors open that you didn't expect to open, and sometimes you think they're open, and then you arrive to the door and the door's actually locked solid, and you're like, okay, well, great, where am I going to go now, you know? So in that way, it's a helpful story, maybe, but it's, but anyway, I went back to high school, and I went, I had to take my meds again, cycle to school, so I would eat less, I'd be, working, stress, like, forget about stuff, so you just, like, lose weight. And I think the stress and, like, the eating good food with people and exploring the town and like eating good food and like living the luxury life like made me gain weight.
Oh right, too much good living.
Too much good living.
That's a problem to have. That's pure first
It's
world
all about
problem.
finding that balance, you know.
Right, exactly. So where are you now? What prompted that move from, I guess you were working all this time in Amsterdam, in Holland? You were based there? You were living there? Mm-hmm. You didn't have a stint in Paris or London or anywhere else?
I did. I had, you mean agency, right? Or
Agencies or time working in other territories other than a home, which was Holland?
I always worked abroad, mostly.
Okay. So what would you have identified as your best market at that point?
I think that would vary a lot. I think a lot of big jobs came from London, but I had like big jobs from Paris too. But
okay.
It would just like be on and off. But it would just be on and off in general. Like it's
on and off.
Yeah.
Do you have a book?
No, not with me.
Oh, bugger.
Should I have brought that?
That's okay. It would have just been nice to have given another.
Pictures.
It's the opposite. It's the picture, isn't it?
Well, go to my Instagram. It's @Zanzizan.
Okay, we can check that out. Do you have lots of followers? Does your personality and your performing and your guitar playing, does that translate and giving you another string to your bow? In other words, do people like that? Do you play your tunes on Instagram stories?
No, I mean, on the stories, sometimes I do, but I feel I can milk it out a little bit more, I think, because there is a lot going on with my music, and I do it every day, and there's barely any on it on my Instagram, which is kind of bad. And I think I've been holding it back so much because I'm doing so much, and I feel like I've got something really precious in my hand, something that I put a lot of time and effort in, and I don't just want to put it on Instagram. I want to collect it and perfect it, and then bring it out and drop it, and then drop the mic, and then be like, there you go.
Where are you going to drop it? On YouTube?
Maybe, probably also YouTube, but you know, it's...
But you haven't done that then. Is there a view to doing that? Is there a master plan then? It sounds like you're plotting.
Yeah. I'm producing myself at the moment as well, so
you're going into studios and recording?
I have my little garage band set up at home.
Oh, okay.
Which is really awesome and kind of lo-fi and grungy at the moment, or just like lo-fi, which I think is really cool, and it's like still really pure and uninfluenced and like weird and stuff. So
let's talk about your influences.
Okay, so not very many influences actually.
That's an interesting thing for someone who's been so immersed in music for so long.
Yeah.
Name a few.
Okay, so I think I had a few influences, and they were Regina Spektor, who is a New York native.
That's right.
Native. She's a great singer-songwriter, and always, I think, it was a bit more strange than the music that I would listen to. So I thought that was really interesting, and I felt a lot when I listened to it. So I thought was really nice, and the variety and the things that she does is really nice. And then I think the thing that has inspired me the most or connected with me the most is the album White Chalk from PJ Harvey now. And I heard that for the first time only like a few months ago.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then for the rest it was kind of,
And so is it the whole thing about Spektor and Harvey? Is it the styling, the worlds that they create?
No, it's purely about the music, and I guess they create a world with the sounds that they use, I guess. But
do you know the work of Kate Bush?
And Kate Bush.
You can't leave her out.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Because she obviously influenced all of those guys.
It's like those. Yes, exactly. So she's like.
She's the one, isn't she?
Yeah, to me definitely.
Did you like Fiona Apple?
I do, but I can listen to Kate Bush more and like really
and deeply.
It can be inspired.
It can be on cycled, can't it? My wife and I can have albums on that run all day long in
I can't.
You can't?
No, I cannot listen to music, and that's also why I don't really know a lot of music, and I do get inspired by it now because I allow myself, and I'm ready to get inspired, I guess, also. But I could never listen. It was just too much. It's like the ADD thing sense.
Right.
It was just too much for me to listen to it. It was too emotional or too, like, I don't know, like all the sounds and...
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the love life. Because we can't, there's so much, I'm sure, to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any big love affairs in your life so far?
Yeah,
What do you look for? What are you looking for? Have you found it? Where are you at?
I always look for good people that are that kind of have the same morals and stuff, and that are excited about life and curious and
Where do you
want to
find
do
them?
good.
Where are these people? Is it work? How give me a sense of how you would come across somebody that you could have a relationship. Is it literally anywhere?
Yeah, it's yes, of course. Yeah.
So did you have relationships at school?
I did, but not really.
They weren't big love affairs.
No, I had a boyfriend in high school, but that he didn't go to my school. But he was such a good guy. He was so sweet. We were 16. It was so sweet.
Did you love him?
Yes, I love him. I still love him.
Are you still in? Are you in? Contact still?
I saw him in Holland 3 weeks ago, for the first time in years too.
So why didn't you continue? Why wasn't it you against the world, and that you're still with him today?
Because you're young and you wanna, because you learn things from each other, and then you wanna move on and learn new things and.
Are you the restless one, or is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty restless.
You are. How did I guess?
Such a surprise. What a surprise. She's restless. Yeah. No. Yeah, I think, but I don't think it's necessarily restlessness. I think it's just very eager to just explore new grounds, and I think that's a very healthy, good thing,
Yes, absolutely, especially at your age.
Yeah.
I think that's what really youth should be about.
Yeah, it should be, but also I feel like I've had some alone time too, and those moments are very precious and very important too.
How long do they span?
Very necessary.
How long do they No.
We're really going into detail here.
No, I mean, when you say alone time...
Sometimes a week, sometimes months.
Okay. Yeah. So it hasn't spanned years.
No.
I'm trying to get a ballpark figure.
No, I've always kind of had boyfriends. I like being, with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a loner in that sense?
No, not in that sense. I like having, the feeling of having a partner, yeah.
Yeah. Kids and marriage, any idea, age or?
Kids, definitely. Or on what age I would want to get kids?
Yeah, marriage isn't important. But...
I've always wanted to get kids pretty early, but I just have a lot of things on the bucket list and things that I really want to do that I don't really want to do while having kids. So and that it just depends, and that is not something I want to put a time span on.
Yeah.
I just want it to happen. So,
right.
So yeah.
But get busy with your bucket list.
Yeah.
Right, because if it's a big one,
I know.
It might take time.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want now out of your career in fashion? What are the jobs that you would ideally like to be doing, if any? What are your ambitions, goals? What in that department?
I think I just really would like to be a face of something, I did a perfume commercial already, but just really be a face and
you did a perfume commercial?
Yes, I did.
Because for many models that is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
What was the perfume?
It was Anais.
Was it?
By Cacharel, yes.
Freaking classic.
Yes, I know. It's really cool.
You?
Yeah.
What, currently?
But, well, no, I mean, it's...
Are you currently the face of Anais?
I did it when I was 17, I think.
Okay.
But it's still out
Long
there.
running.
Yeah.
That's a lot of freaking dough.
It's
Has
good.
that powered your rent?
It has meant a lot. It has meant a lot. It has meant that I could quit school because I had a backup. With the money that I had, I could go back to school, which has meant a lot.
Yeah, you have a nest egg.
Yes.
Did you have any financial help, advice about how to manage those affairs?
I mean, I have an accountant that takes care of tax stuff and all that things, but for the rest, I'm I don't spend a lot of money. I'm not a big spender, so I just put it on the bank and I just
Okay. Good.
I'm saving to make an album. I'm very dedicated to that, so I'm not touching it.
Okay, great.
and go back to school.
Where will you find your band? Or will they be session musicians?
Yeah, where do you find your band?
Yeah.
You just go, I have a lot of friends that are musicians
So you're
that
going
want
to
to be
draw
in the
on them.
band. Yeah.
Okay. And you will have a band?
Yeah.
You'll tour, you'll
That's
make
a difficult
albums?
question. It's
Yeah.
a difficult question. It's something that I'm thinking about currently because I really want to go out there and play. So, and also because I feel that what I've been doing with production with my songs, like the instruments that I use and the sounds that I use, I do them on the computer, and I don't really have a lot of knowledge about how to do that live. So I think I just
You'll need an arranger or someone.
Yeah, or
to help you?
if it's gonna be me and my computer and maybe like a guitar, like a drummer and a bass player or something, and me on the keys, I could see something like that happening.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the Adhd commercial. Do you remember anything about it? Do you remember who directed it?
I remember everything. Yes, Olivia B.
Now, how big a deal was
Yeah.
it when you got the call that you were actually going to be doing this?
It was huge.
You appreciated the magnitude of it?
Oh yeah, I didn't do that many castings for it. I did 5 castings for it, and every time it would be like a video camera like this, and they would like ask me these questions, and like it's like really funny. Like I cried during the casting. They were like, "What? Okay, now like look into the camera, and what if I was like the person that you loved, and like." Think about the thing that you're most insecure about. I remember this question so well. It's like, think about the thing that you are most insecure about. And that person, like, whatever, like, touches that insecurity and it's just like, and holds it and it's like, this is beautiful. And it just like started bawling.
Wow, the waterworks. You got the job.
I was so dramatic and I got the job. They were like, perfect.
So was it a long shoot?
It was, I think it was 3 days.
Were you running and jumping around in the countryside?
Yes.
Yes. Where was that shot?
It
France.
was in Barcelona.
Okay, but it was a French. You were in France at the time. I mean, were you working in France? No, you went straight from Holland to Barcelona.
Yes.
For this French company.
Yeah.
And was it easy? Was it exciting? Was it pressure?
It was exciting, and the people were nice. It was hard work. We would have to get up at 3 every morning to catch the sunrise. We would, run up and down, up and down, up and down in ice cold through nettles. Like we were, like our legs were burning, and it was incredible. And Olivia B is so talented and amazing. And
is that a female director?
yes, yeah. And she's also, I don't think she's a New York City native, but she lives here now, and she's incredible. She's just so awesome. But everything there was just so beautiful. We were in the countryside, in the morning, and there was fog and the sun was shining. There were flowers everywhere.
Wow.
They flew over like this massive amount of flowers from Amsterdam, actually, also, which was really cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, so it was just beautiful.
You came with the flowers.
And it was like the first time on like a real like big set. So it was just really interesting too. But it was really tiring. It was so tiring. Long days.
Does that kind of work beget more of the same? Are you now much more likely to be booked in another capacity for another thing? Or
yeah, I think
you
so.
are. I think that's how advertising works,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And has there been any talk of you doing theatrical stuff or film work or?
Yeah, I mean, it comes on. Like I have friends that, and also I have a lot of friends here in New York City that do stuff with film and are musicians and do all kinds of stuff, and everybody asks each other, and I'm they ask me to act and stuff all the time, and I love doing it. I think it's incredible.
So you wouldn't say no to a career in that if it took that direction?
I would definitely be super down to do it as one of the things that I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So the future, more of the same?
Future more of the same what?
Future more of the same? Making money, modeling, doing your music.
Yeah, I mean, definitely making music, that's for sure. And I think...
At what point do you think you're going to start properly concentrating on the making of this album or the crafting of all of this material that you've been compiling over years?
I'm always kind of focused on it, but it comes in waves because I'm not somebody that sits down in the morning and can just be like, okay, I'm going to work on music for 3 hours and there's going to be a finished song on the end of it. Like it kind of just comes in waves, and I get inspiration waves, and then it just happens. So, and I don't want to pressure it too much, but then again, you want to keep going and see results and see that you're going somewhere. So it's finding that balance. But I think I'm getting pretty close to getting there. Like I'm next week I have 2 sessions planned with producers on making the demos, and I think it's gonna take like a year maybe.
Okay.
I feel.
So what makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
So describe a sort of perfect scenario, perfect day, perfect things to do. What would be your ideal day or your ideal activity? When are you happiest?
I mean, the happiest is when you just, I feel like when you get small somewhere, as in like when either you're watching a beautiful like landscape or something like beautiful, you're just watching it and it's just there, and you're just appreciating it because it's there. It doesn't give you anything. It's just beautiful because it's beautiful. And the same goes with contact with people. Like you have like an incredible conversation with your Uber driver or something, and it's just something that happens, and I think that it has nothing to do with me, and it just like reminds you that you live in a good place, even though all the bad, there's like bad stuff happening and things that are very stressful, but it's like, it's that make you forget about all that. And
So what's the meaning of life for you?
The meaning of life?
What's it all about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a difficult one, because it's like, is it about being happy? What is being happy? Is that just being content? Is that just being? I don't know. What is it? The meaning of life is just like
I think being happy is important.
Things happen and you do things, and that you get sparked and you get excited and you feel like, ooh, that's something that does something with me. I'm going to explore this. And then, it's about exploring things and being curious and being warm and excited. And yeah, I think because that's what it is, I think.
And you get to do it a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
As a creative, you're exploring constantly.
Yes, all the time.
That's fantastic. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much. I don't know what more we can explore.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on. You and I could go on exploring forever.
I know. I could take you talking. Yeah.
Let me end the main interview now.
Cool.
And then we'll do some other things.
Sounds good.
But Zanna, you were a delight. Thank you so much for coming and sharing
Thank
so
you
much
so much
of your amazing energy with me today.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks a lot. Oh, no, it's YouTube. You have to do a shout out for me because I need followers.
Oh.
So do your best in practice for your own YouTube channel. You need to do what's known as a call to action. So apparently to get followers, you actually have to spell it out for people. Not that they're stupid, but it always seems to me doing these YouTube tutorials that they say you have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get, I guess, in life is the
Right. Unfortunately.
Go for it.
So guys, this beautiful man over here.
Oh, thank you.
Can touch all these beautiful people. Okay, this sounds horrible. Okay, start over.
Beauty twice, that's repetition. All I will say is if you like this, if you enjoyed this, and she did give amazing value, that guitar piece at the beginning, your work is really amazing.
Thank you.
I think you're incredible. That surely deserves a like and a subscribe to my channel.
Well, thank you.
Zanna, thank you so much. We'll
Thank
get
you for
loads of
having me.
subscribers for
That's
that.
awesome.
Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.